What's going on, Charles Boatston? It is Sunday at 12:15. No one's obviously in the office. I was actually thinking about this because I just came back from a seminar it's known as the Synergy Global Seminar. And things work, I'll close the door because there's music on in the background. But things work in crazy, crazy ways. So this is what happened. It was a $1,500 ticket. I looked at it and I said, I've spent way more money, Tony Robbins and whatnot, than $1,500. The speakers it was like a powerhouse lineup. Even if you had one of the people, they would headline at an event. They had Richard Branson, Nassim Taleb, I'm probably saying this, Nassim Taleb, who wrote Anti-Fragile. They had Simon Sinek, Gary Vaynerchuk. They had some actress woman. They had Daniel Goleman, who wrote Emotional Intelligence. They had Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street guy. They had Guy Kawasaki. It was just like the who's who. It was crazy. They had, what's his name that wrote Blink and the 10th, Malcolm Gladwell. And it was like just the powerhouse of people. There's a lot of takeaways. Number one is when I start speaking, I'm going to have energy because there are people there that I'm like, I understand that you are brilliant and you have an amazing concept and or an amazing book, but they just had no energy, they had no enthusiasm. But this is one of the things that I took away from it is that you're surrounded by all these entrepreneurs and listen, the tickets were $1,500. I actually opted not to pay it and I opted to put it into the business in the beginning of the year. I said, either go to the seminar, which I was very close to doing. How did I end up going is that I ended up putting content out on the internet, my vlogs. I actually put that on my personal Facebook and someone hit me up and they said, hey, listen, this person can actually hook you up with a ticket. I was like, how much? And they're like, free. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. So I went there for free to see this when the front row paid $10,000. The front row paid $10,000. I went for free. And the seats, it's the Madison Square Garden movie theater. It's amazing seats everywhere in the house. Well, maybe towards the back it's not that good, but I had great seats. Anyway, you're surrounded by all these entrepreneurs, people that paid 10 grand a ticket, and there was, dozens or hundreds of people that paid 10 grand a ticket. And I started looking around, and you're looking at these speakers, brilliant minds, pretty good at, explaining their situation and what they were going there to talk about. And I started thinking about this one story that Brian Buffini talked about probably about 3 years ago. And why did it trigger it? Because I'm surrounded by all these people that are crushing it. It's a Saturday at 9 a.m. How many people on a Saturday at 9 a.m.? Here's the example, is that we had the person that invited me invited a friend as well. And he said no, he had previous plans. And that's the difference, I think, is that it's not really balancing. It's more on choosing. People are like, how do you balance life? How do you wake up early? How do you go to sleep? Or the questions came up to, I think it was Jordan or Gary or Simon, one of those guys, and they said, no, I just choose to do this. No, it was Richard Branson. Richard Branson said, I choose. They said, how do you balance this? Because the guy's like a freak when it comes to work ethic. He goes, I don't really look at it as work. I just look at it as life. I just love life. And it really clicked where it's like, it's a Sunday at 12:15 right now. I don't feel I'm at work. I feel like I'm doing what I want to do. And it's like, I understand what you're thinking in your mind. You're like, oh, okay, great. You like what you ended up doing or whatever you're thinking right now. But when it comes down to it, I'm going to say this other point. Brian Buffini, a couple of years ago, said at a seminar, he was there and he gave this example. And his wife, they were at a family dinner and she cut off the ends of the ham and then put it into the oven and, served it and sliced it up. And Brian Buffini's a real estate coach, asked his wife, he said, why'd you cut the ends of the ham? And his wife said, oh, because my mom always does it. So he's like, oh, okay. She goes, look, didn't think anything of it. They're at another family party, and her mom was there, and they went up and they said, "Why did you slice the ends of the ham off?" And her mom says, "Oh, because Grandma did it." Grandma was there. They walked over to Grandma, and Grandma said, "The reason I sliced the ends off the ham is because that's the only way that I could fit it into the pan. She sliced the ends of the ham, grandma, because that's the only way to get it into the pan. That got passed down through her daughter, who is Brian Buffini's mom, or Brian Buffini's wife's mom, to Brian Buffini's wife. So it's 2 generations. What in your life are you just settling or accepting? What in your life are you choosing to not balance, or you're thinking it's work, or you're thinking it's challenging, or you're thinking that if I get this thing, this phone, these shoes, this appointment, this exclusive, this sale, this relationship, this body, this mind, this book, whatever, that life is going to be amazing. It's not. Okay? Jordan brought up one of the best examples. And controversial, yeah, if you think so, that's cool. But he brought up this example. He said, I fucked up. And the Wolf of Wall Street, he's tons of drugs and just, womanizing and whatnot. But he said, I fucked up. And he said, it was actually the best thing for me going to jail, because I looked at my life. I said, okay, what is my legacy? What do I want to be known for? How can I turn this around? And then he said this about what I thought was, when I get the new iPhone, when I get this business, when I start my own business, no, there is no end game. And then Simon Sinek, he brought up just this amazing example. He said, he's coming out with a book, and it's called The Infinite Game, okay? You either look at game as a end game, which is football. There's 2 teams. There's rules, and whoever wins, there's a finite amount of time in the game. And most companies are acting like this. So in football, at the end of the game or at the end of overtime, and obviously people are going to say, well, in overtime you could tie. Okay, say someone wins. Mr. or Mrs. Sarcastic. Someone wins, there's a clear winner. How many businesses, how many people are playing when I get this by this date? No. When you get that by that date, you just have it. You just have that iPhone. You just have that relationship. You just have that business. What's next? So Simon Sinek brought up the infinite business. The infinite business is that there is no end goal. There is no, you say you die, or your company goes bankrupt, or you break up with your girlfriend or your husband, and or your wife, whatever examples in your mind, or you graduate college, or you get into that fraternity, or you get that body. What then? Do you just stop? No. It continues. Life continues. The business continues. The world continues. It's like, play the infinite game. What are you choosing today? Okay? There's so many examples I just gave in there. Number 1 is, what are you choosing today? What are you settling for that someone just instilled in you? This is what success looks like. This is how much money you should make. This is how healthy you should be. What are you accepting that someone, whether it was society or social media or your parents or your friends or your colleagues, what did you accept as the ceiling or even the floor of life? Okay? And it's the reason I'm preaching is this because I had to look in my own life and say, what am I accepting? Okay? And I'll just give you this last thing, is that I went to a pitch last Wednesday. Presentation, that's a better way to say it. A presentation. So in other words, I'm in real estate, and I was trying to get this person, I was presenting to get this person's apartment. Relatively expensive, $3.5 million, 6-figure compensation. And I don't think I got it. And I was there at the seminar, and Jordan Belfort said, people buy for you, or you influence. And by the way, everyone's in sales, okay? I'm influencing you right now. If I was not confident and I looked down and I was telling you how I was speaking, you're like, yeah, confidence is everything. You're conveying everything. Really, as he said, you're conveying an emotion. I'm conveying my emotion to you. Hopefully that something clicked in this video where you say, you know what, you're right. I'm going to question my level of success, my level of how many calls I'm going to get, my level of what time I'm going to wake up, how many books I'm going to read, my level of whatever. My relationship, I can go deeper in my relationship. I can have a closer relationship with my friend, my parents, respect my competition. There's so many things that Simon Sinek and everyone dropped. And I'll leave you with this, is he said people buy from you for 3 reasons, or people will buy when these 3 bullet points are checked off. Number 1 is there's rapport and they like you. They can like you, but there's no rapport. They can't relate with you. So they like you and there's rapport. Number 1. Number 2 is they believe in your product or your service. So if you sell insurance, I sold Cutco knives. So I believed in myself. I believed in the knives. Here's the kicker. The third one is they believe in the company. They believe in your company's mission or what it stands for or its brand or its name. That's why I didn't get it. I didn't handle this owner's objection of my company. It's a small company. There's 3 part-time, a videographer, a concierge, and me and someone else. I'm not a thriving metropolis yet, okay? I didn't know that because that was the first, I'm 4 years old in the company, okay? Or turning 4. That was the first time I actually had that as an objection. Most people are like, oh, I never heard of it. I'm like, yeah, we're based in Midtown, blah, blah, and that's it. And like, okay, cool. But this was the first time she actually questioned it, okay? And why did I not get the sale? Because I went in assuming my thoughts about getting what she wanted instead of asking, what do you want? Okay, that is the objection we need to handle, which is the company, okay? So number 1 is, what are you assuming? I assumed that she already knew the company. She already, by company, this company, our company, that company. It's, I can't stress it enough is that I had a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset, Carol Dweck has talked about it. A fixed mindset essentially means that you just go through life. And by the way, 12 minutes holding a phone, this is, my arm doesn't even feel that bad. That's pretty good. I feel good. Carol Dweck said there's 2 types of mindset. For 22 years, the first 22 years of my life, I went as a fixed mindset. Everyone that went to this, I would say 98%, there's probably 2% that don't feel there's that they don't have a growth mindset. That's really what it is. So a fixed mindset, I'll just give you my examples that I went 22 years of just accepting that school said because I got bad grades, because I almost failed out of pretty much everything, I had to take classes over, because never any grades, but I had to take calculus in college over and in statistics, and because they were telling me you are not doing good in this, because everyone else was far succeeding me, that they said that you're not good. So I accepted because I am not good, that I will never be successful. I accepted that. I had a fixed mindset. I said, I can't change. This is who I am. Until I picked up one book. It wasn't like a miraculous book, but if you haven't read Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, which is the second book. The first book was How to Win Friends and Influence. Obviously, 30, 40 million, 50, 100 million copies have been sold. It's probably up there as Think and Grow Rich, and obviously the Bible's number 1. But I have to tell you is that when I picked that book up, I literally had hold on. So you're telling me I can actually learn to get better with people? When I learned that was like a mind blown. Another one, I'll give you another one, which is I'm 10 years into personal development. And what's his name? Brian Greene. He has an amazing special. He has a 4-part series on, I think it's Amazon. I think it's free. Amazon Prime. If you're on Amazon Prime, you should be. And I think there's 100 million people that are on Amazon Prime. That's crazy. Subscription-based is the only way to get a good cash flow. And Jeff Bezos is just so brilliant. Anyway, Brian Greene, so then I was questioning, things in the universe, and I'm not going to bring up God or anything like that, but I started questioning, how did we get here? And I just had this realization is that if you go all the way back And people, like, I had this conversation with my friend, and he goes, I don't believe in the universe or God or anything. And I was like, yeah, you know what, that's like a good point. Like, and I'm not going to get into like philosophical debate, but I wasn't mad that it's just that he never did any research. So now that and that was me back in the day, I would just accept things. You know, this is my level of success. So then I started doing research, and I started saying, okay, so everything came from nitrogen, hydrogen, oxygen, you know, all these gases, you know, the Big Bang, and it exploded. And then billions of years later, we somehow were communicating on a cell phone. Just think about that for a second. And then Elon Musk came out a couple of years ago at a Q&A at one of the most well-known prestigious Q&A events. And he said, yeah, the person that was asking the question, he said, yeah, just think about it. Yeah, I believe that we're living in a simulation. And then Peter Diamandis, another brilliant guy, the author of Bold and multiple other books, he came out and he said, yeah, I believe we live in a simulation. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what the hell is this? So I started looking up, and then I started reverse engineering. So that's what it is that, you know, there's such a stigma behind so many other things. There's a stigma behind someone following around Gary Vaynerchuk until it's cool and it's known as the Daily V. And now someone's following me around in New York City. What else is being accepted? The earth is flat. Things revolve around the earth. You know, I know this is a complete rant, but I can tell you right now is that where did that come from? Where did those gases come from? What created space? Like, what was that? Like, it pushed out, but like, where did it push out to? You know, like, that's why Elon and Peter Diamandis, people who are brilliant, and they are brilliant in the mind of business, rationality, logic, science, physics, you know, just now Elon's in neuroplasticity, and what's his new company is just sticking a chip in here so it can be connected to the cloud. It's just, you're at the point is that you have to question everything. You have to. Fuck the norm. Disrupt. And I'll just give you this last one. And I know I said that multiple times, but there could be something after this. I hope this is just a rant where you guys just say, thank you so much, because I needed that. Or you could just say, screw you, Charles, and give me a downvote on the video. I don't really care. This is the more recent example is, so before I started the company, BPI, I freaking love that logo, by the way. Nobody could say Boatenston Properties International, so I just call it BPI. And the logo, I paid $200 and $250 to some guy on freelancer.com 4 years ago. And I was like, that's the sickest logo. I'm like, I would love that on apparel and everything. Don't buy apparel. I spent too much money on that, and stupid idea. If you're starting a business, don't do like coffee mugs and stuff. That's just bad business decisions. Get sales. That's your number one thing, is get sales. So, you know what? I really want to go live. I cannot wait until I go live. So this is the most recent example. So this is what happened. So Street Easy is a real estate. Street Easy is like Zillow and Trulia for the rest of the country. Street Easy is Manhattan-based real estate, because in Manhattan it's the wild, wild west. We have co-ops, and you wouldn't even understand what we go through. They can deny you for no reason to buy in New York City, and then when you buy in New York, they could just deny you, and they don't have to tell you why. So Street Easy came along. It aesthetically was pleasing on the website. It worked really well, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so this was the example. I get a call, I get a referral, and someone says, you know, my friend, my colleague has gone to a couple open houses. Can you help her start looking? And I call her and I say, hey, how's it going? And we start talking. And this was the thing, is that before Street Easy, so I started in 2009. So 2009 to about 2011, people would come to you and say, hey, listen, I'm looking to buy, I'm looking to sell, I'm looking to rent. And then you'd go out. Now, because of the advent of the internet, people would go out searching first. They would look at how much their home could go for if they're selling, or they can say, I'm going to go to a couple open houses, and then contact you. So what is it? What big difference does that make? In other words, they're contacting you after they do research. Okay? Like me, we have a videographer. I do a ridiculous amount of research on my video. Okay? on the camera and going live. I'm buying all the cords and everything else, because if I rely on him, he might not be getting the best price, low light cameras and things like that. So I started saying at a big company or big real estate company in Manhattan, my last one, Halstead, it doesn't really matter. And I was getting shunned for it. I was like, Street Easy is going to disrupt the industry. It's going to wipe out the industry as we start getting, not wipe it out, but definitely eliminate the amount of people. Because if people are already doing research before they contact an agent, and then people are going direct to the owner, going direct to the real estate agent without a buyer's agent, and I was getting shunned for this. And people were like, you're lying, they need us. I'm like, why do they need us? Why do they need us? So that was it, is that I was questioning the norm, and I got shunned for it. And I was leaving, I left Halstead, I started this company. I went to my customers. I said, did you work with me because of me, or did you work with me because of Halstead? And Halstead is a massive brand. And I'll tell you this one. I was just on Facebook. I don't really consume Facebook. I post on Facebook and everything else, or post on Instagram, but I don't consume it. I don't want to consume it. Because it's bullshit. It's politics. I hate politics and just all that other negative garbage. So I eliminate myself from consuming it, but I post, okay? Most people consume and they don't post. I do the opposite. So I was on there last night, and I scrolled through, and I'm never there. And the top thing is one of the top agents. He actually was the top agent at Halstead. He did $100 million in business, which means he made like $3 to $4 million, which means that Halstead made a couple of $1 million. The company made a couple of $1 million. He just jumped ship to a new company. It's called Compass. And I've been saying this for a while. Compass is a technology firm. They tried to recruit me. It's a technology firm that is just video and app oriented, and making it easier on the agents so they could do what they do best, which is service the client. Okay? If you were just accepting, look at, I don't want to bring up Circuit City and Best Buy and all these just retailers that are going out of business. It's not Amazon's fault. You can either say it's Amazon, or you pivot and you say, you know what? This is the funny thing is, Walmart has physical stores and now is going online. Amazon has what started as an online retailer and now is going to physical stores. They're building out not only distribution centers where they can ship to you, but you can now go to them. I think it's called Amazon, not Amazon Fresh, but Amazon Go, where you go and you pick up your groceries. They bought Whole Foods. They're going to brick and mortar. They're now doing experiences. So it's like you pivot and you put all of your stuff, you just have one Walmart instead of 3 Walmarts, and then you ship it out and you compete, you pivot. I'm not saying it's easy. There are still travel agents that are in business. My brother used one. When was the last time you heard of a travel agent? Buying stock. There's people that still buy stock because they pivoted and they said, you know what? The consumer could buy stock at $7 a trade or $5 a trade, but I'm going to offer the service and not compete on price. And that's why there's still companies like Apple who has ridiculous service. They have ridiculous products. It's like, have both. So that was the same thing with us, is that I'm like, I need to get this word out. I need to handle this thing called video and building up my own audience. I can't rely on Street Easy. I can't rely on Halstead. I can't rely on these other, Truly and Zillow and Realtor.com. I can't rely on these big institutions that have been around for dozens of years, or for real estate. There's companies that have been around for 100+ years. There's 2 of them in New York City. Brown Harris Stevens have been around since like 18 and change, or right around there. Like, they need to pivot right now. We are in mass disruption. Stop. Going back to the original example, is that Brian Buffini's wife accepted what her mom gave her about cooking ham, is that you cut off the edges. Her mom accepted from her grandma without questioning it. We're in a time you have to question. Am I doing the best process? Why do I have a fixed mindset? Why is Peter Diamandis and Elon Musk saying that we're living in a simulation? It's like, why did I lose that listing? Instead of blaming the owner, go to a seminar or look it up and say, oh my God, I didn't ask her the objection about the company. I just assumed she believed in the product, which she did. She believed in me, which she did, but she didn't understand the company. She didn't understand why we have a daily vlog, why we use video, why we have 10,000 people in the news. She didn't understand that. That's my fault. That's not her fault. I didn't question. I went in assuming. You have to literally question everything. What your parents told you. I don't care. Question your own beliefs. And this is the problem you're going to face. It's hard. Why? Because you have an ego. I have an ego. We all have an ego. The ego is attached roughly to survival. So you look at someone and you say, I don't know, I don't really trust that person. So your ego is like, I don't want to really do business with them. So that's like survival, but your ego is also pride. I don't want to be shamed or embarrassed. One of the biggest things, they actually came out, what was the video? Oh, Vsauce. Highly recommend that YouTube channel. I know this is really pushing 25 minutes. It feels good. And I'm actually holding the phone the whole time. I'm starving. I haven't actually eaten anything all day, 12:40. And Vsauce came out with something called shame. Shame is one of the biggest motivators for someone to or not to do something, okay? You see someone that needs help. Do you stop or do you say, I don't want to be the first person? But if you see a crowd, it's fine then. Here's the example he gave. He said, you run around your apartment naked all the time because no one is there. There's no shame. There's no shame. But someone pulls your pants down in high school or middle school or pantsers you or you take your shirt off at the beach, there's people around. So there's shame involved. It's really the ego's involved. Your ego says, is this good enough? Oh my God, they are questioning things. Maybe I'm not in good shape compared to that other person. You start comparing yourself. You start questioning yourself. That's the thing, is that you need to question yourself. Why am I so tired? Why can't I wake up early? Why don't I have the money? Why am I getting bad grades? Why does this person not like you? Why do I keep failing at relationships? Maybe because it's you. You know, what's his name? Ron White gave this hilarious, absolutely hilarious a joke. Ron White's a comedian, and he said he was given a military base, God bless our troops, thank you so much for everything you do. Bigger balls than me. And he was giving a Fort Bragg, he was like 20,000 soldiers, and he was making a joke, and the woman in the front row yells out, she goes, they're all a bad fuck. And Ron White goes, well, after about 19,999, you say, maybe it's me. So true. Maybe after 20,000 soldiers, you say, maybe it's me. Maybe after 5 failed relationships or businesses or bad grades or high school, maybe it's me. I never said that. I said, it is me. I accepted it. I said, this is me. I have an issue. But the problem was, I didn't know I could change. That was the issue. I said, it is me. I'm bad at school. I'm bad at getting the girl I want. Or eating healthy. Maybe I'm always just supposed to be tired. Maybe I, even though I didn't eat anything all day on a Sunday at 12:42 p.m., maybe I need to eat. Okay? You know what I did? I was literally outside. I'm not going to say this is the last example because I'm on fire right now. I'm outside and I'm about to walk in to work literally an hour or 2 hours ago, whenever it was. And I looked across the street. Chopped salad was not open. And chopped salad is really good, and obviously it's a salad place, vegan. I don't really eat much meat anymore. Maybe once a quarter. That's funny how I said once a quarter. Probably only 3 or 4 times a year. Obviously, Christmas, Thanksgiving, things like that. But I don't really eat meat. I just don't know where it was farmed, and there's so much going on with that. It's disgusting. The hormones they give them, you really do your research on it. It's just not good. And it just doesn't work well with my body. I get very lethargic and just moving bowels and things like that. I know you don't want to hear that, but you have to question, why am I tired? Why do I smell? My sweat smells. Why am I not sweating? Why am I sweating too much? Things like that. Is it because I'm stressed out or things like that? So I'm outside and I looked across the street and I had an option. I said, I haven't eaten all day. I've been running around. I went to 3 or 4 different places. I biked up there. So I used energy. I used calories. And I looked across the street, chopped salad was not open, and then right across from there's a place called Pret a Manger, whatever it is, some other place here in New York City. You probably never heard of it, but they have oatmeal. So that was the thing, is that this year I wanted to cut out as much sugar as I can. Do I have sugar? Yes, I had a tiramisu, or quarter of a tiramisu, because other people ate it last night. But of course I have it. But I want to limit it to like once a week, if that, because it does not react. I break out in acne. My mind, I get headaches now because I don't eat it that much. I can't think straight. I get tired. I get hungry. It's just sugar does not work well with me because I've eliminated. But if I was on sugar, which I used to be, like addicted, and I would literally need sugar to survive, and that's not normal, or that is normal actually, because our body. That's what we needed back in the day. Sugar was good. It was because there was none of it. Berries and strawberries and bananas and grapefruit and everything else wasn't really around. So I looked up the oatmeal in Pret a Manger online, 25 grams. And it's known as steel cut oatmeal. 25 grams of sugar? Really? Is that really steel cut oatmeal? I don't fucking think so. 25 grams, that's insane. All right. So I had the option. I said, do I go inside? Am I convincing myself I'm hungry to have 25 grams at Pret a Manger? Or am I not that hungry and I'll wait until 11 a.m., which was in a half an hour, to go and get chopped salad? I said, you know what? Let's wait. I didn't eat that well last night. I just dabbed. I didn't eat well last night. I had broccoli, but then my buddy had some fries, and it was late at night. I had a couple of Heineken Lights. Not really. It's funny that once you start getting on a momentum roll, you really want to continue it. It's really, you get to a point. I'll just go over this really quick. So I took the choice and went inside. I said, screw it. You know what? As Richard Branson said, he said, screw it, just do it. Which is, come inside. I can wait a half an hour, get healthier food. I'm going to get a kombucha, whatever, however you say it, flush out the crap that I had, and then maybe have another salad later on. So at least I go into the week healthy with confidence that I ate and I kept my promise to myself, which is, I'm going to make a whole video on that. All right. Continuing on, which is screw it, just do it. And Richard Branson said that. I forgot where I was going to go with that. However, I know this was a super long rant, but with momentum, is that you start out, it is so challenging to start a habit that you're not used to, a good habit, not a bad habit, a good habit, and continue it. It is so hard. It's taken me years to wake up consistently early. It's taken me years to eat well. It's taken me years to consistently make sales calls. It's taken me years to do this. I would start, stop, start, stop, start. Months go by, start. Months go by, start. Months go by, start. It's taken me years, okay? I'm 32, okay? I don't know how old you are, but it's gonna take you a while. But once you start, you get addicted to that good feeling. It's not artificial feeling. That an artificial feeling is an orgasm that because you pleasured yourself. An artificial feeling is bad food. An artificial feeling is watching TV instead of going for a run. Those are artificial feelings. Those are artificial hormones of actually, Simon Sinek brought it up. EDSO is endorphins, dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Those are the feel-good hormones. The stress hormone is cortisol. You don't want cortisol. If you get addicted on the high of, say, doing something that you normally wouldn't do, which is going to the gym, going for a bike ride, approaching that pretty girl, asking that guy out, making sales calls, going for a walk, going for a run, whatever the case is, not watching TV, eating healthy, when you get addicted to that and you actually stay consistent, which for me, I can't go 2 days without eliminating the bad thing. The bad thing would be not eating correctly or whatever. I have to only do 1 day because I have a very addictive personality, and I figured it out the bad way is that if I ate the oatmeal, I'd make an excuse to maybe have a bagel later or make an excuse to eat shitty later. So I made the promise to myself. And am I perfect? No. I don't. And by the way, I don't want to be perfect because it's all a journey. There's no destination. And that's taken me years to figure out as well. There is no one thing that's going to happen that's going to blow you up. And people are like, yeah, but Simon Sinek, I'll give you 2 examples. Well, Simon Sinek, he has the 3rd most watched TED Talk. Yeah? Well, there's a lot of people that are right around him. Have you heard of them? Who's before and after? Have you heard of them? Are they as popular? Do they write incredible books? Do they still orate on the level of Simon Sinek? And by the way, if you have not watched that video, go do yourself a favor. It's called Start With Why. 30 or 40 million views. Unbelievable. Which I love. That warms my heart, seeing people actually caring so much about starting with why and having the appreciation, having the gratitude, as Gary Vaynerchuk talks about. It's amazing. Once you get addicted to the good feeling of it, I was thinking about it last night. Yes, I was, 3 Heineken Light deep. Is that I always thought there was one thing. Once I start BPI, once I make my first hire, once I get my first $1 million sale, then I'll be set. No. Again, life is going to continue. Play the infinite game. Transfer your emotion in person. Stop walking around like a drone, like you're in the Matrix, like you're Neo. Neo is like looking at numbers. Remove yourself. Question things. Question society. Question even facts. Question everything. I can't stress that enough. I went 22 years of a fixed mindset. So this has to be the longest rant that I've ever done. 36 minutes. It's 12:50. I'm going to go down. I am going to get some food. Please like, please share, please subscribe. I've literally been holding this on my arm. There has to be a world record of someone that unintentionally held their camera, held their phone up. Well, actually, no. Casey Neistat holds a freaking gimbal or a Gorilla Pod with a DSLR camera. I think he goes. That's why he's so jacked. His shoulders, his lats, his stomach is like holding a 5-pound device in front of you with your arms stretched out. That's insane. That's very impressive. So. Obviously, go over there. We're going to be going live once I get my camera. Hopefully, I'll go to Adorama today, which is a camera store, and we're going to be going live with that. We're going to have 3 live shows a week. I believe in video. I believe in the future. I have faith in humanity. We're safer. We are living longer. We are smarter. We are better. By far the best time in human history. And if you focus on the negative, you don't actually see infant mortality is down. People are living longer. People are safer. Just look at the crime rate. Look at every statistic, not Fox and CNN and MSNBC and all that old garbage that's on TV and all these stupid websites that are pushing you to click. It's a business. News is a business. It's a business. They are there to make money. If they show you me saving a cat from a tree is not going to get how many likes as if Trump tweeted or the Kardashians took their hat off on vacation and they complained about how hot it was, or Dan Bilzerian posted a photo. Of course not. Because it's not controversial. It's not drama. Again, why? Don't just accept things. Why is that the case? Because back in the day, that would get us killed. If we didn't see the dangers, if we just accepted that little rustling in the leaves, and we're like, oh, it's just rustling in the leaves. Oh, it's just Kim Kardashian on vacation taking off her hat and complaining it's too hot. Let's just go into the comments. This is the idiot I hate. The idiot that signed up for the website and then comments on that article about Kim Kardashian and then goes, I can't believe this is the top news. I can't believe. Dude, you clicked on the article, you scrolled to the bottom, you clicked into the little box to leave a comment, pressed submit. You're the loser. You're the loser, sir. You're the person that is making the news media outlet money to keep on posting about the Kardashians because you clicked on that, which has banner ads. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my, like just think of it like, I don't even know. That's just surround yourself with people that question things, that just live high on life. I'm so bullish because I felt so many recent fears of having someone follow you around, and I'll tell you right now, this is very honest as well, which is, so I have this guy that follows me around the vlog, which you've probably seen on the website. And this is the thing is, like, obviously I'm here for self-development, but then my friends are not. They're there to get entertained and my clients or whatever. So this was the thing. On Facebook, it received 700 views and, 25 likes and a bunch of comments. Guess who the comments were? 2 clients. One client said, can I be on the vlog? And I'm like, of course. I'm like, that's awesome. I was doing it not for my friends, not for real estate. It was really for the clients. And it was also for you guys. I was doing it for you guys because in the future, you're going to see my morning routine. You're going to see, I'm going to evolve it, So I need to build the audience. I need to start speaking next year. I need the money to do that. That's the thing. I need the money. I'm not taking money from you guys. I want to give you value through a speech or whatever. Like writing books is that's at least 2 or 3 years out. I just don't want to dedicate the time to doing that. But guess where the messages came from? The private messages from people in real estate hating on it. I got a text from a friend. She's actually part-time with the company. And she texted me, she posted something on Facebook about blogging with a B. Like she wrote an article and then one of her friends said, oh, are you blogging now? Like sarcastically. And the reason being is they're trying to tear her down. My private messages to my vlogs were 2 messages by real estate agents. One said, that's embarrassing. The second person said, why are you doing this? Okay? Meanwhile, my clients and you guys said, who I'm really doing this for. I'm not doing it for the real estate agent community. I love the people. Well, some of them. But the thing is, I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it for the clients. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for an audience, okay? Because real estate, they're going to take you down. There's a guy on the West Coast that's doing it. There's myself. I guarantee I'm the only one in New York City right now that is doing it. You're going to get hating. You're going to get haterade. It's like, where does the confidence come from? Is that you have to put out, anytime you create, what's his name says this, Stephen Pressfield says it in The War of Art. When you create something, anything, and here you go, when you create something that is original, or you do something that's original, when you become a Steve Jobs, when you dent the universe, people will hate. Go to Steve Jobs' top 10. There's a Q&A where this guy, it was in the 80s or 90s, it's a Q&A and he says Steve Jobs and just asks a question that just rips Steve Jobs. And the audience grumbles and like, whoa, okay. And Steve Jobs waits, and then answers. And he says, you know what? Guys like this, they're right. They're right. We could have done this better. What did Steve Jobs do? Steve Jobs had a massive ego. But he put it around and he said, you know what? Why is this guy saying this? And he said, you know what? This guy's right. We lost our compass and we're going to get back on it. We're going to build beautiful products with the best intentions of serving the customer, whether they feel like they want the product of an iPhone or an iPad or the music store or iTunes. We're just going to build it. And if they like it, we feel they're going to like it because it's aesthetically pleasing. The software and the UX is incredible. And he went into it. He said, we lost our mission for a couple of years and we're going to get back on it. That is pushing away the ego. You're always going to have haters. You're always going to have people questioning you until, this is the thing, there's 4 areas. Number 1 is they'll question you. You go to the gym, your friends will start questioning you. You start getting into shape. You start getting better relationships or money. They'll start questioning you. Then they'll start hating you. They'll say, this is ridiculous. Why are you doing this? They're just trying to tear you down because they don't want to question themselves. And then it's going to go into accepting. They're then going to accept, okay, this is who the person is. Casey Neistat is just a vlogger. Gary Vaynerchuk just has someone following around. Charles Botenston just holds a phone for 44 minutes and talks into it about personal development. This is who it is. And then the fourth thing is, the last thing is, the highest thing is they'll praise you. And they'll say, Steve Jobs was a revolutionary figure. Casey Neistat was the best vlogger to then bring on other people like the Paul brothers. Gary Vaynerchuk moved everyone forward of having a videographer follow you around. That's what happens. That's what happens. So question everything. Know you're going to get haters. Transfer emotion. There are so many different points. I hope you guys like it. I hope you share it. I hope you subscribe. and then we're going to go to live shows. All right. So if you guys have any questions, charles@icharles.com is my email. I'm going to start, if you guys have any speaking engagements or you know how to get into speaking, that's 2018. That's definitely what I'm going to be doing. Have an awesome day. Love you all. Look out for some live shows because they're going to be coming. I'm going to go get my first meal of the day at 1 o'clock, 12:59 actually. I don't know if you could see that. 12:59. So have an awesome day. Talk to you guys soon.